here to encourage, empower, and enlighten women. I am your host, Alyssa Khadija, and this is the Girl I Got You podcast. Welcome to the first official episode of the Girl I Got You podcast. If you have not been able to, please check out the pilot episode. This is where I introduce myself. I go over some of the key points, topics, conversations, and really just the intention behind why I started this podcast. So without further ado, here we are, ladies, headed into 2025. 2024 definitely came and went by, but I don't mind because I'm very excited for what the next year has to offer. And I'm definitely grateful that I've been able to learn so many things in 2024. And on this journey of becoming my best self, improving myself, making my dreams really a reality, I have made the choice to be single. I've been on a couple of dates this year. I definitely used to date so much back in the day, especially between like 2018 and 2022. All pointless, I will tell you, all pointless. And I definitely dated one or two guys this year in like exclusive relationships, but those were unfruitful as well. And I had to take a step back and really evaluate myself and ask, why am I not comfortable being single? Why do I keep giving my exes a second chance? What's the issue, right? And so that kind of inspired today's episode. And essentially, we're going to be talking about getting over your ex. See, where I am now, I'm actually the most happy, content, peaceful, outspoken, confident, all the good things that I've ever been. And I will definitely credit that one to God and His grace, because the internal transformation and even external that I have seen in myself over the past couple of years is out of this world. And I'll also say, I think I'm where I'm at now because I have made the conscious effort to just be single. I know society deems women as unworthy or unvaluable if they are not in relationships, but this is all foolishness. At the end of the day, I would rather be single and decenter men from my life than to constantly be chasing after men, be in less than satisfying situations. And most of all, I would rather be single than be in any kind of situationship where I am entertaining men. It's just not happening. So the intentional singlehood as well as abstinence has definitely been a game changer for me. And I do think I'm going to do an episode, it's in the works, an episode where I talk about sexual sobriety and why abstinence is a good choice, especially in this current dating market where everything and everyone is just all over the place. I don't have time for the foolishness. So without further ado, we are going to jump straight into it. Ways to get over your ex, or if you want to say how to get over your ex, the point is we're getting over our exes for 2025. So number one, your ex is an ex for a reason. Whether you left him or he left you, there was a breakdown in your relationship for a reason. Men, they come and they go. And then they come and they go, and then they come and they go. But at some point, it's your responsibility as a woman to put yourself first, to prioritize yourself, and stop obsessing over your ex-boyfriend. I get it. It's tough. But these things happen for a reason, especially if your ex wasn't really an ex, because a lot of the times we get into these situationships with men, and, when it's all said and done and things kind of crumple, we consider them to be an ex-boyfriend. But for one, he's not an ex if the relationship wasn't exclusive. He's just somebody that you were fucking with. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm not here to judge because I was there. I used to be you. But at some point, you got to make the distinction, right? No one from our past should be allowed back into our lives anyway, especially if they were toxic, abusive, manipulative. They didn't value you. All they wanted was your body. They can go to hell, right? So I get it. It can be tough. But the first thing I want to say is please do not use negative or toxic coping mechanisms in order to self-soothe, right? I get it. A lot of us girls, we've got trauma, we've got anxious attachment or avoidant attachment styles. Particularly for me, I struggled so much with anxious attachment. And I always felt the need to be in a relationship, no matter if the guy was toxic or not. I just wanted somebody there because I hadn't addressed my traumas. I hadn't addressed my abandonment issues. So I would rather have a piece of a man, or I guess in the past, I would have rather to have a piece of a man than a complete, whole, healthy, and functional man. I don't do that anymore because I've done the work. I've been to therapy. I've done the prayers. I've put in the tough work. And believe you me, my life is so much better for it, right? So I don't want you to start doing the whole casual sex thing, drugs, alcohol, excessive partying, lashing out on people to soothe the pain, but rather learn about self-soothing. I learned about self-soothing through watching different videos talking about narcissistic abuse, childhood trauma. So the spiritual whistleblower, she's fantastic. Lisa Romano, Dr. Ramani, all these content creators that talk about narcissistic abuse at some point mention the need for self-soothing, right? I also learned a lot about different coping mechanisms on Pinterest. Pinterest is absolutely fabulous, whether it's the feelings wheel or they talking about different coping mechanisms, different manipulation tactics. You can find just about anything on Pinterest. So I would definitely recommend do not use coping mechanisms that are less than healthy to cope. Because at the end of the day, life is going to put you in a blender. There's absolutely nothing that anybody can do. It doesn't matter if you're a woman, man, anything in between, you're rich, you're poor. There are things that are going to happen in life that you simply cannot avoid. However, it's having the tools and the knowledge and the wherewithal to actually maneuver and cope with those things. You see what I'm saying? And the next point that I would make is to, especially if you grew up having childhood trauma, maybe you grew up in a single mother or a single parent household, whether you were abandoned, you were in foster care. In childhood, we develop our attachment styles, right? So a child who has a healthy attachment to their parents is very different from one that has an anxious or unhealthy attachment to their parents. See, all children learn their attachment styles through the presence of their primary and secondary caretakers, right? So like mom and dad, nana, grandpa, whoever's really around in the child's home. When that child gets taken out of that environment, so whether they have to go live with an extended family member, they get put into foster care, put up for adoption, that tends to rip away that safety net that that child had. And now they develop anxious attachment because my caretaker is not reliable. I am unsure that my needs are going to be met. So I now have this baseline anxiety. And I definitely will do a more in-depth episode about anxious attachment because I've been able to analyze my own anxious attachment, really dig deeper and dive deeper into my childhood and evaluate the exact situations that made me feel the most anxious as it related to my attachment. I've been able to learn self-soothing, how to cope and speak to myself in a way that makes myself feel safe. And I am proud to say that I am not anxiously attached anymore. I might still struggle a little bit with avoidant attachment, but that's just me growing and learning and figuring out how to set boundaries and not just cutting people off because I don't want to tell them the truth. So you got to acknowledge your attachment style. And especially if you have anxious attachment, that can be very detrimental in relationships. You have a guy, you like him, you're in the talking stage, and maybe you haven't heard from him in a couple of minutes, couple of hours, maybe a couple of days or weeks, right? But mainly if you haven't heard from him in that couple of days window, you can get anxious. Now you want to lean in, blow up his phone, double, triple, quadruple text him, call him a million times because you're afraid that he might have abandoned you the same way that you might have felt abandoned in your childhood. So it all comes together when we talk about attachment. But the issue with that is that if you feel anxious about this guy and then he leaves, you are liable to crash out, honey. Now you're throwing tantrums, you're lashing out at everybody else, you want to fight somebody, you want to hunt him down and go sit in his bushes and try to figure out what the hell is going on with him because of that anxious attachment. Anxious attachment, especially for women in relationships, causes you to do things that you should not and do not want to do. But you're looking for that fulfillment. You're looking for that coping mechanism that was him. And now that he's gone, you're not able to be soothed. So I would recommend finding a therapist. Therapy is always fantastic. And it doesn't matter if you're a Black woman, white, Asian, Hispanic, you need therapy. Now, I know that everyone that goes to therapy is not crazy, quote unquote. I went to therapy because I knew that I had a lot of inner turmoil going on, and I just needed somebody to talk to that would actually understand what it is that I'm going through. It took me a lot of time, but I will say that after like 4 therapists, I found my current therapist, Dr. B. She's a Black woman. I'm a Black woman. We relate on that level, and she is absolutely fantastic. We've done cognitive behavioral therapy as well as speech or talk therapy, rather, and it's just been a pillar for my young adulthood. I'm 26 now, and so I say all these things because I've actually been there. I've been in that position of hopelessness and despair and just worried about everything, especially men. So acknowledging your anxious attachment and finding better ways to deal with it is definitely next level, because then you won't even have the urge to blow up your ex's phone and beg him to come back. I remember I was in college and I was dating a guy. Well, we weren't really dating. We were in a situationship. Let's just say that. And, the whole time, even though he was playing me and kind of leading me on, I was just so naive and so clueless at the time. I would ask him, what are we? And are we going to get together? Are we ready to be in a relationship? And every time he would essentially tell me, no, it's not the time. He's not ready yet. But what I didn't hear him say verbally was that he's ready for a relationship, just not with me. I was his placeholder and his stepping stone to the girl that he would then leave me for and start dating and even living with. What's funny about it all is that I can remember sitting on my twin XL bed, rather lying on the bed, weeping my eyes out while my best friend / roommate at the time was just sitting on the floor listening to me crying. And I told her, I said, Malia, he was the best thing that I was ever going to get. And if I could just go back and give my 20 something year old self a hug and let her know that he is not the best that you can get. Matter of fact, he didn't even scratch the surface. We were not in a exclusive relationship. We were literally just having sex. and smoking, and that was it. That was literally it. And oh, as the woman that I am now, I just cry for my younger self. And I cry for the women that really think that the bare minimum is all that they can get. So please, please, please do not let anxious attachment force you to settle for bullshit and lies and manipulation. There is so you don't even know the beginning of the phrase, there's much more better out there for you. You don't. So the next point is, and this is more of a briefer point, is to understand that people actually come into our lives for a period of time. No one lasts forever. There are some people who are going to be there longer and more intentionally. There are some people that are not going to be there long and they don't have any intention of staying or building or loving you. But nonetheless, people in all shapes and forms, they come and they go. Whether it's that lady you met at the train station, the man that you were dating for 4 or 5 years who broke up, or your mom who's been in your life literally since the beginning. People come and go. You come and go from people's lives. So you can't have the expectation that anyone is going to be there forever. Of course, we want longevity. We want family. We want foundation. However, we have to be realistic as women and as girls and acknowledge that, yes, not everyone is going to be there all the time. So don't stress about it. People will come for a season and for a reason. And when that season and reason have been accomplished, they will go. But what I didn't know at the time, and I'm sure a lot of women don't know this, and it's so crazy. It's such a simple concept, but this is your life. You are the main character of your life. Everyone else might be supporting actors in your life story or your biofilm, but this is your life. Everything that that person or that guy was bringing into your life, you have that for yourself as well. I know, prime example, you have a boyfriend, you have a husband, and he makes you feel happy, right? Now he's gone and you believe that you cannot feel happiness anymore. This is foolishness. You have the capability to feel the happiness, the joy, the laughter, the love, experience all the vibrant, wonderful, amazing things that life has to offer. You can't just limit that and say, well, if this person isn't in my life, then I can't have these things. No, you can experience everything because you are literally the vessel. So if one person chooses to leave your life, whether it's quietly by ghosting you or whether it's abruptly by just making it a whole scene and an argument and a breakup, let them go. Nature has the tendency to at times be chaotic, right? Good example of this would be a hurricane, right? The hurricane comes in and it just demolishes and destroys everything, right? But at the end of that hurricane, there is a new beginning, an opportunity to rebuild, an opportunity to connect, an opportunity to grow and to change for the better. The same thing with these chaotic relationships. When they are going, you let them, because this is now a new place where you can grow and build and an opportunity for you to love on yourself and love on those who are there for you, right? And if you are ghosted, baby, because I have been ghosted many times. And going back to the whole anxious attachment thing, someone with anxious attachment who gets ghosted is liable to crash out. It is one of the worst feelings because you're stuck thinking, okay, well, what did I do? What did I say? Am I not good enough? What did he? It's just all of these questions that you're asking yourself. But this is my thing with ghosting, right? I remember meeting a guy, we canoodled, it happened. It happened. And this was December, I believe, of 2023. And, he told me all the things that I wanted to hear. He sold me the pipe dream. And I was ignorant. However, I wasn't as ignorant as I would have been a couple of years ago. But I fell for the okie doke. It happens. But then he ghosted me and I was distraught. I was in such a dark place because I was like, I did nothing to you. And of course, I felt the urge to text him and call him. And when he didn't answer, I was heartbroken. But in even those, I guess, shitty situations, I was able to realize that, hey, people come and they go. And that's okay. As long as you're here, that's all that matters. And it's funny because it's always the guys who ghost you that end up coming back to your life and trying to text you. Oh, hey, what's going on? Long time no see. What I tell them is see your way back to wherever you came from because I'm not dealing with this, right? And that same guy has tried to come back into my life several times. Oh, well, I'm back in town. Let's hang out. I want to see you. I was an ass. Don't do me like that. And I'm like, bro, kiss mine. Kiss my ass. Do not worry about the people that come and go. At the end of the day, don't allow people to just pick you up and put you down. That's not what I'm saying. But if they go, you let them because your life will probably be so much better without them anyway. Now, to the next point, understanding that you are the prize, baby girl. He saw some kind of value in you. This is why he decided to pursue you. Maybe you didn't see that value in yourself, and that's why you allowed yourself to be used and played with, but nonetheless, you are the prize. See, I didn't know that I was the prize, and so I felt like I needed to earn his love and perform and try to fit whatever he wanted me to be and be a people pleaser and a nice girl, but nice girls always finish last. They really do. And so on this journey, I had to realize that as a woman, I set the tone for my life. I set the tone for my relationships. I am the prize. And if I don't see any value in myself, I'm going to always discount myself to other people. And what sucks is when you do that, you end up in these shitty situationships that really cause you nothing but heartache, pain, anxiety, low self-esteem, whatever have you. And that's why I'm so big on abstinence now, because I'm not entertaining any situationships for one, because that does not reflect the value that I have in myself as a woman. And I guess my self-worth and my self-value that I've been able to cultivate is exactly why I choose to be abstinent. I don't want to sleep with anybody's son. I don't want anybody's sweaty son on top of me pumping and grunting. And I don't want that. I'm cool. And for 5 to 15 minutes of pleasure, because let's be honest, they're not doing what they think they're doing, right? For 5 to 15 minutes of quote unquote pleasure, you end up with days, weeks, months, even years of regret, of low self-worth, low self-esteem, a skewed concept of yourself. It's just not worth it. Remember, this is your life. You are the prize. And if a man is not willing to earn you, he can go to hell. Thank you. Now, here's a question that I would ask you. Ask yourself if you really wanted them based off of the experiences that you had with them, right? Because I know we have this weird thing as women where we like romanticize and, if this is a word, magicalize a shitty situation, right? We have this idea of who this guy is in our heads, and that doesn't match up to the guy that's in reality, right? So I get it. It might have felt good to have that validation, to have somebody in your life, but do you really want that? Do you really want him? Ask yourself that question. Matter of fact, you can pause this episode right now and really reflect on all of the exes and the situations or whatever have you that you felt like you lost out on. Do you really want them? Because listen, these guys will come into your life offering literally nothing but dick and bubblegum. Dick and bubblegum. That's it. They're not helping you in any kind of way. And when I say help, it doesn't necessarily mean financial, even though financial is fantastic. F is for finance, F is for fantastic. But these guys are not doing anything for us. They're not buying us cars. They're not paying any of our bills. They're not asking you when your car note is due. Listen, within the past couple of months, I've had so many guys inbox me on different social media platforms telling me how they want me and, oh, Alyssa, you're so beautiful. You know, if you were my woman, I would give you the world. Well, give me the world now. Give me the world now so I can be your woman, right? And one day I was so upset because I said, all of you guys in my inbox and, on our panels and discussion boards saying that you want me and you want this from me and I want to see your body. How about you ask me when my car note is due? How about you ask me when my car insurance is due? How about you pay my phone bill for the month? How about you come, I don't know, massage my scalp and feed me ice? Like, they're literally doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's another reason why I'm just choosing to be single. Because for one, what is the point of having someone in your life that literally does nothing? See, I believe that a man's purpose in a woman's life is to make her life better. And if he can't do that, then there's no point of him being there, right? So you really got to ask yourself, do I even want this guy? Come on. Because at the end of the day, babe, you deserve so much better than the dick and bubble gum that you're being offered. And I know it sounds harsh, but you have to be like cold stone with these guys. And especially in today's dating realm, you have to be zero tolerance and no nonsense. Because when you give them, men, I mean, an inch, they'll literally take a freaking mile. And I don't have miles to give out. I like to be fresh off the lot, if you know what I mean. And side note, this is why I started Femme Fatale Sorority Incorporated. Um, this is not a man-hating sorority. It's not a male-bashing sorority. But what me and my sorors do is we discuss, we network, we enlighten, educate, and encourage women that, hey, you don't have to fall for the okie doke with men. You don't have to center your lives around men. You don't have to center your life around anyone. This is your life and your story. If you want to be happy, by God, be happy. And don't let anybody take that away from you. So I will definitely do an episode where I talk a little bit more about Femme Fatale and how you can join our lovely sisterhood and become a femme like the rest of us. So now, listen, I want you to know you do not stalk. Do not stalk his house. Do not stalk his family members. Don't stalk his social media accounts. And do not stalk his story. Don't, and matter of fact, don't even stalk the girl that he's talking to or dating, right? Because I get it. It can be so easy to want to see what it is he's doing, who he's with, where he's at, when was he there. But at the end of the day, there's literally no point in stalking somebody who doesn't want anything to do with you. Listen, you have to value yourself more than you value them. You have to look at yourself as the prize and the main character, and your ex or whoever he was simply just a side character in your story. Don't invite them over. Don't try to reconcile. Don't ask for closure. You got your closure when he told you that he didn't want to be with you. That's your closure. And that's your sign to step it the fuck up and get it together, girl. And I also want to point out, please do not invite your ex to have sex. Like, just don't invite him over and don't go to his house. Please. If you need to chain yourself to the radiator at your own place, do that. But do not fall for that, oh, hey, what are you doing? Did you want to come over? Because if you go over there, you're just going to end up sucking dick, babes. And I do not want that for you. 2025, it is a different regime. We're doing something completely different. Okay? So with that being said, those are just some takeaways and some thoughts to think about getting over your ex. He's literally not worth it. It's not. And you are worth so much more than what you're allowing yourself to receive, whether it's love, money, work, life, projects. You are worth so much more. And this is the point where I'm going to have like a sister to sister talk with you, right? This is the time to take for yourself, to level up yourself. And leveling up yourself, I know that that term is used so loosely, but when I say leveling yourself up, I just mean taking time to love on you, taking time to get back to those hobbies and projects and things that you put to the side so you can focus on him. This is the time where you take care of your health, you rebrand, you regather, you recuperate, you find a new aesthetic, you find a new hobby. You find new friends, you go out and you live this life because life is so glorious and beautiful. And I didn't know it at the time, but when I was down bad, crying over guys that just are a waste because I don't even have any urges to go back to my exes. I really don't. Like, it was done before, it's going to stay done. Life is so beautiful. It's amazing. You wake up every day and you smell those goddamn flowers. You romanticize your life. Like, this is your life to live. And no, let me just say this. I'm not perfect. I'm a Christian, but I am not perfect. And I remember in the pilot episode, I said that I was going to remove the word perfect from my vocabulary because perfection does not exist. But when all else fails, please pray. Pray to God and ask him to help you see things clearly and from a different perspective. Do you really think that the God that made you fearfully and wonderfully wants you to be sitting around, moping around, haven't washed your ass in a week, crying over a guy that wanted to take you to Wendy's on a date? No. God has somebody for you. And when you level up, when you love on yourself, when you improve yourself and enjoy life, you put yourself in the position to actually receive the person who you should be with. But let's face it, if a lot of us got the dream guy that we wanted right now, we would probably fumble it. So you got to work on some of these things, not for him, not for anyone, but do it for yourself because you're actually worth it. And I just want to land it here. If I could just give you one key takeaway. It is okay to be single. It is okay to be by yourself. You do not have to constantly chase and pursue and be in a relationship with someone. Contrary to popular belief, your worth does not come from whether or not you're in a relationship. Relationships are great additions to your life, but at the end of the day, you came into this world by yourself and you're going to leave it by yourself. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have friends, families, partners, people that you love. But what I'm saying is it is okay to have your own time for yourself. It is okay to take a month, a week. Actually, a week is not long enough. A month or a year or some years to just be single intentionally and productively. That's okay. Because some of us, what we used to do or what we do currently is, you break up with somebody, you get right back on the dating sites, you swipe until you find somebody else that reminds you of your ex, and then the cycle just keeps going. It is okay to just be single. Take this time to go get your nails done, babe. Take the time to try that one Pilates class, that swimming class. Take the time to just do something different with yourself, okay? So, with that being said, lovely ladies, thank you so much for listening to the first official episode of the podcast. Again, I have been your host, Alyssa Khadija, and girl, I got you. I will be posting every week. I want to make sure I'm consistent and bringing you guys really good, thoughtful, authentic content. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And I hope to see you guys next time.